So this chanting was used to wire the brain in a very big way because the sounds that you employ has a big impact on what happens in the brain. So these mantras were structured, a certain mathematics is involved in this and a certain poetry is also involved in it at the same time. Because of using a certain level of structured sounds, it wired their brains so much that they have a phenomenal sense of memory which is almost humanly impossible. What we want to do for any individual does not happen because he wants it. It happens because he earns the necessary capability. Without capability, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, only empty dreams will happen. If life has to happen, we have to earn the necessary capability. And our capabilities are fundamentally dependent upon how intelligently we can function in every situation in our life. And that fundamentally depends on how well connected our brain is. In ancient times in this country, in this culture, there were elaborate systems as to how to train the brain, how to wire the brain as intensely as possible. There are people, there's a very beautiful instance which happened in 1930s. You have heard people going into long chantings, maybe in the temple or somewhere. Have you heard people doing homams and all, chanting and chanting away for hours together? So this chanting was used to wire the brain in a very big way because the sounds that you employ has a big impact on what happens in the brain. So these mantras were structured, a certain mathematics is involved in this and a certain poetry is also involved in it at the same time. Because of using a certain level of structured sounds, it wired their brains so much that they have a phenomenal sense of memory which is almost humanly impossible. Normally, in modern times, we consider these things humanly impossible. They had that kind of memory because of using these sounds in a particular way.
According to Sadhguru, mantra means a sound, a certain utterance or a syllable. Today, modern science sees the whole existence as reverberations of energy, different levels of vibrations. Where there is a vibration, there is bound to be a sound. So, that means the whole existence is a kind of sound or a complex amalgamation of sounds. The whole existence is an amalgamation of multiple mantras. Of these, a few mantras or a few sounds have been identified which could be like keys. If you use them in a certain way, they become a key to open up a different dimension of life and experience within you. Now let's hear from Sadhguru a story from Banaras.
This happened. Two people went to Banaras, friends. They were having a bath in the river and among themselves they were talking and they were making a business deal. So it was agreed that one friend offered 50,000 rupees to the other friend to do business. So right there, verbally, orally, they made an agreement and it was done. And after a few years, because there was no written paper, when this man wanted the money back, the other man said, "You never gave it to me." No such thing happened. So he went to the court. When he went to the court, he had no proof. He said, "I have given the money," but he had no proof. Then the judge said, "You have to get some proof, otherwise we cannot do anything about it." Then he remembered, when they were in the river, they saw a Brahmin priest who was having bath close to them. So he just hoped that maybe he would have heard what we spoke and I can bring him as a witness. So he went looking for that man in Banaras. He found the man and to his disappointment, he realized that the man did not know English. These people were talking in English language and this priest did not know English language. So he thought, this is no good. Then the Brahmin asked, why? Then he told him, see, 4 years ago, we were having bath and you were also there. I was just hoping that I could use you as a witness. The Brahmin said, okay, I can repeat whatever you said. Whatever you two had conversation, I can repeat that. He does not know English language, but he repeated every word of what they said. He just remembered every sound, what they uttered. He did not know the meaning of it, he did not know the language, but he could repeat every word what they said. And he was brought to the court and he won the case. So, our memory and our ability to do things can be so greatly enhanced if only we handle this inner situation right.
To receive free tips on food, health, diet, lifestyle, and Sadhguru's upcoming programs, you can join us on WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook by clicking on the link below.